All right, let's just jump right into this. Today, we're unpacking what might honestly be the most sophisticated, high-stakes digital heist of our entire era. But look, the target here isn't gold, it's not crypto, and it's definitely not your user passwords. We're talking about the core intelligence of America's most advanced AI systems. And the absolute wildest part of all of this? The vault was literally never hacked. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the timeline, the tech, and the massive fallout of unauthorized AI distillation.
Right now, this is the multi-billion-dollar question that has the White House, the State Department, and the entirety of Silicon Valley on absolute high alert. You really have to ask yourself, how exactly do you pull off a massive digital heist without breaching a single server? Well, let's unpack the actual mechanics of how this works.
Okay, so to understand the heist, we really need to understand the tool they're using. AI distillation is essentially using the outputs of a massive, highly capable teacher model to train a smaller, weaker student model. You're not actually stealing the underlying code, what we'd call the model weights. Instead, you are systematically asking that teacher model millions of really complex questions and then using its brilliant answers to train your own system. It's kind of like, well, it's like copying the smartest kid in class's homework until you actually learn how they think. Except in this scenario, the student is asking millions of questions every single second.
Now, we need to be clear. This extraction isn't just, a few rogue developers tinkering away in a basement somewhere. U.S. intelligence has actually identified massive, highly coordinated efforts, principally coming out of China, that are running industrial-scale distillation campaigns. Their goal is to extract capabilities directly from highly protected U.S. frontier models.
Just to give you a real sense of the sheer scale we're talking about here, 24,000. That is the exact number of fake automated accounts that Anthropic recently discovered attacking their systems. And those accounts generated over 16 million unauthorized exchanges with their frontier model, Claude. And all of that traffic, it was specifically designed to harvest distillation data.
So how on earth do you pull that off without getting caught immediately? Well, the attackers deployed these massive distributed networks that they call Hydra clusters, operating entirely through commercial proxy services. A single proxy network could actually manage over 20,000 accounts simultaneously. They deliberately hid their illicit traffic deep inside normal, everyday user requests just to evade detection. And what were they actually trying to steal? They were systematically targeting the complex reasoning patterns. We're talking multi-step logic and the ability to autonomously write code. In some cases, they basically forced Claude to act as an automated grader, constantly correcting and training their own models for them.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. It turns out this ultimate software heist is actually just a brilliant workaround for hardware. So the US placed these strict export controls on advanced AI compute, like those high-end NVIDIA GPUs, basically trying to create a silicon blockade. But adversarial distillation, it's a direct workaround to that. By distilling US frontier models, foreign actors can create highly capable but lightweight models. Take DeepSeek, for instance. They tuned their distilled models specifically to run on domestic Chinese hardware like the Huawei Ascend chips. This effectively lets them bypass the US silicon blockade entirely. It's wild.
Obviously, the United States and big tech aren't just taking the sitting down. We're now witnessing a massive, highly coordinated counterattack. For what might be the very first time, we're seeing the White House, the State Department, Congress, and these fierce tech competitors totally aligning. They're basically deciding to treat AI model behavior as strategic intellectual property that absolutely must be defended.
And things moved unbelievably fast here. Let's look at the timeline. In April 2026, Michael Kratsios, the director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy under the Trump administration, issued a White House memo. This memo explicitly framed the situation as a critical need to protect American AI from Chinese extraction. By late April, the State Department was already issuing a global diplomatic cable. And then by May, the House Select Committee on China began aggressively pushing to classify this AI extraction as a literal form of industrial espionage.
Now that State Department diplomatic cable, totally unprecedented. It literally ordered U.S. embassies all over the world to warn foreign governments about the risks of using AI models that were distilled from U.S. systems. The cable explicitly named 3 Chinese AI companies, DeepSeek, Moonshot AI, and Minimax. It warned everyone about these industrial-scale, synthetic queries designed to replicate U.S. model behavior. But critically, and this is the scary part, it highlighted the immense risk that these distilled models intentionally strip away all the embedded safety and ideological neutrality protocols that U.S. labs spend years building, meaning These cloned models could easily be used to generate malware, completely bypass censorship, or spread disinformation, with zero guardrails.
What's really crucial here, though, is how the tech industry reacted. These are fierce rivals, right? But they teamed up. Through the Frontier Model Forum, which, remember, was originally just a safety policy group, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and Microsoft basically morphed into a live joint security operations center. They started sharing real-time threat telemetry and attack signatures. OpenAI went ahead and publicly attributed attacks to DeepSeek, and they briefed Congress. Anthropic, as we mentioned, shut down those 24,000 Hydra accounts, and Google and Microsoft seriously tightened up their API anomaly detection. They all completely shifted from, passive terms of service enforcement to active, aggressive threat hunting. Now, we have to look at the whole picture. Not everyone in the space sees this coordinated counterattack as, purely righteous. Within the broader developer community, this whole situation has sparked a massive, heated debate about double standards in the AI industry. Which brings us to a very controversial counter-perspective.
People are calling this the hypocrisy debate. The argument basically goes like this. The exact same tech giants who freely scraped the entire open internet, we're talking copyrights and all, to build their massive frontier models in the first place, are now suddenly crying foul when foreign competitors scrape them. So US tech giants are heavily lobbying the government for protection, claiming intellectual property theft over the exact same output scraping tactics that they arguably used to get ahead. It's a really fascinating tension, right? Between how these models were born and how fiercely they're being defended today. And look, this geopolitical and corporate clash, it has very direct consequences for the open source ecosystem. Tools like DistillKit and DistillFlow, these are legitimate, community-driven frameworks. They exist to make it easier for researchers and independent developers to train smaller, much more efficient models. But as the US government starts treating distillation as a literal national security threat, there is a very real growing fear that open source innovation, the very tools that allow researchers and hobbyists to run powerful AI locally, will just become collateral damage.
So to prevent that from happening, the industry is frantically trying to draw a very sharp boundary. On one side, you've got authorized distillation. This is what happens entirely within the open source ecosystem. Using an open license model to train a smaller student model to run locally on your laptop. That is fully legal and it's actually encouraged. But on the other side is adversarial extraction. That's the industrial-scale, proxy-hidden attacks targeting the lockdown, proprietary frontier models. The ultimate goal here is to regulate the malicious extraction without completely crushing the open-source community in the process.
And you can actually see this exact two-tier strategy playing out right now with Google's recent release of Gemma 4. So Google aggressively defends its massive frontier model, Gemini, from any adversarial extraction. Yet, at the exact same time, they purposefully released Gemma 4 as an open-weight model. And guys, it's incredibly powerful. The new small models, E2B and E4B, they feature native audio support and a massive 128K context window. And here's the kicker. Gemma 4 is actually a distilled student of the Lockdown Gemini teacher. By releasing strong open-weight models to the public, Google empowers developers and heavily reduces the incentive for people to illegally scrape Gemini. It perfectly illustrates this strategy of protecting the frontier while still feeding the open ecosystem.
So, where does this leave us? We're facing a critical, ecosystem-altering question. As Congress weighs new espionage laws and as AI companies lock down their APIs and pool threat intelligence, we are watching a massive, historical transition. AI behavior is no longer being treated as just simple software, it is being aggressively guarded as highly classified, strategic intellectual property.
The landscape of artificial intelligence is quite literally shifting under our feet every single day. If you found this deep dive valuable, please hit that like button, share it, and subscribe to KYC AI Labs for more science behind the AI headlines. Until next time, ask yourself, as these models get locked down as classified digital assets, will the future of AI be a collaborative global ecosystem, or are we headed toward a fractured digital Cold War? Thanks so much for joining me.